What's happening, everybody? So check this out. Generally, I'm a non-confrontational type person unless confrontation is required. So I don't go out and seeking any type of conflict, but if conflict comes my way, I'm gonna handle it. And let me explain to you why it's important that you are able to handle certain things. Something can start small and it can be a simple conversation that has to be had. But a lot of times when ego and pride is involved, you don't address an issue and you mask that by saying, I don't care. I'm just not going to mess with this person no more. Or, it is what it is. But it ain't what it ain't. Because a lot of times you not confronting the issue causes the issue to grow and causes the issue to spread. And a lot of times that spreading overlaps in your daily life. As a parent, let's just say you went through some things in your upbringing and those things were never addressed. So now you are in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and those things hasn't been addressed and it grows bigger because a lot of times you have been telling yourself some things so long that it has become your reality and it's really not reality. You can take a minor incident and 20 plus years, you don't even remember the genesis of the incident, but you have just constantly thinking about this stuff and it has just grown bigger. So now, because you're not confrontational, you have this thing that's weighing heavy on you. And now it becomes you. I have this saying that I always tell people. If you're not careful, you become the very thing that you hate. If something has happened to you, you know what I'm saying, a couple of years ago, and if you're not careful, you turn into that. If someone has done you wrong and you don't address the situation, you don't properly handle the situation, in a couple years' time, you can become that very person and start doing that to other people. See, being confrontational has its place, and you have to be able to articulate how you feel. And that's why this whole month I have been talking about the power and the must of communication. You see, a lot of people think that they're a leader. A lot of people say that they want to be a boss. But in being a boss, you're going to have to go through some conflict and you have to be able to properly articulate that. And there's no on or off switch with that. If you can't do that in your personal life, what makes you think that you're going to get out there in the world and be able to handle it? I've had situations to where I myself have experienced some things and I'm always going to be verbal. I'm always going to say what I got to say and I'm always going to say how I feel. My grandmother taught me that when I was young. The problem that I have is I can say how I feel and that other party might not want to hear it. And so back in the day, I would say something and then, the other party might not want to hear it. And then I kind of just stop. And I'd be like, well, this, that, and the other. But as I have grown older, nah, I'm going to say how I feel and what you do with it is what you do with it. The only thing that I ask you is don't 2 or 3 months from now still be like, oh yeah, this, that, and other. No, I gave you a good word. See, a lot of times people are addicted to what problems bring them. And when I say addicted, because when you have a problem and you moping around and you this, that, and the other, some people get so used to being in that state that they just feel comfortable. And I'm just not that type of person. If something is wrong with me, I'm going to address the situation because here's the biggest reason why. One of the biggest reasons why. If my kids have a situation, I want them to be able to come to me with that situation. And the only way that they're going to be able to come to me in that situation is when they see that I have situations, how I handle it. See, a lot of times as a parent, you are do as I say. Do as I say. But they see you on an everyday basis doing other than that. But then sitting there getting frustrated because you're trying to tell them something that you're not willing to do. Life is about learning. And if you are 30 plus still saying, this is how I have always been, that's why you always get what you get. Every year, there's going to be a new development in yourself. If you are in a relationship, there's going to be a growth in that person. And your job is to learn that person again. But the problem is when I don't know why certain people think that you're not supposed to evolve. You're just supposed to stay put. But then you get upset when the other party is the same as you. You can't have a conversation. Then this other person can't have a conversation. But they're thinking you can't have a conversation. You see what I'm saying? It's just certain things start so small. I said this video a couple of videos ago. I found myself in a beef that I had nothing. I didn't even know that I was in a beef. But what I learned is I'm going to say what I got to say. If you don't want to hear it, fine. But I got to say what I got to say so I don't go crazy. So anyways, man, y'all have a blessed day out there.